I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did you run back to get your
it's in the car.
Notary?
We're going through that a third time.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting? If there's no objections or changes, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second?
I can second it.
Moved by Jason, seconded by Paul. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Everybody had a chance to look at the bills and payroll. And if there's no questions, do I have a motion to approve both?
So moved.
Paul makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jason. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Do we have anybody that'd like to address the commission tonight? Okay. We'll start with commissioners' reports. We'll start with Jason tonight.
From the sheriff's office side, we got new deputy Christian Branch here. Introduced. He is in 5 or 6, I think. So tonight is his first night starting on evening. So
What's his name?
Christian Branch.
Christian Branch.
Yep. So we'll be seeing him around here now for the next probably another 5-6 weeks training. So
Welcome.
Welcome.
on the by the school that anybody brought up, I did go around. I forgot to get them off my phone, but I did take some pictures. I guess I created my opinion, and then I went and I spoke with the sheriff to see what his was, and our joint recommendation would be, if we could, finding a way to repaint those sidewalks where they need them, by like the fire hydrant there and any of the other stuff that's old and faded. We have had a couple of other parking complaints in other communities where simply just getting the paint back up did wonders. If that's possible, would be our thought on that. And then up to the commission, but our recommendation on the no parking signs there on the south side of the school would be, I think Levi even mentioned it, possibly to remove those and possibly move those to that other location, being there's limited parking over there by the high school already. Weren't those put in for the day, or there's always there?
They've been there and the residents asked for them.
Gotcha. So that was, without knowing everything, that was the recommendation for the signs.
Where'd you say you want to move to?
Over by the county shop that they spoke to us about last time.
Just to touch on that, I did talk with Cody, and we were going to add underneath just saying a sign that would say no parking, but then also underneath except during sporting events there.
Love it. Good job. You're the man. What a compromise. What a good compromise.
Cody came up with that, so.
So I know he's been gone this week and I didn't get a chance to check with him. He was gonna reach out to Driver and see what his feeling on the no parking there was. So I don't know if he had done that or not.
I can talk to him tomorrow.
Okay. That's it. If you guys have any questions on the school stuff?
Do you guys want to take out the signs around the school for the no parking on the opposite side?
To put no parking on the opposite side?
No, there's signs now that are on
That you
the,
want to remove.
Was there any reason other than people just didn't want people parking there? Was there no other reason that you know?
Yeah, I don't know any reason.
When we take them out of there, we'll find out if there was another reason. Right?
Right?
'Cause
I
somebody's-
remember there was, I think that was further on the corner if I remember right. I know a daycare was moving in there and they didn't.
the daycare's
They were
already
there
moved.
before that.
They were there before.
Yeah.
They wanted to take it out.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I knew it was something.
Because parents would park there.
Yep.
Yep.
I have no objections to it, so.
Okay.
Need a motion done.
Probably. That way it's official.
I'll move that we move those no parking signs from the south side of the high school, right?
South side, and you want them removed on the east side as well?
Is there some over there too?
Mm-hmm.
On which side of the street, both sides? No.
Just on the east side. East side of the school, east side of the street.
Yeah, yeah. I can add that to
There
my
is over
motion.
Okay.
there? There's no parking signs over there on the east. Oh,
I'll admit, I did not know there was no parking
I
sign over there.
didn't either. I mean, it's not like I park there often, but.
Is there a second?
Well, then how does that work for motorhomes, campers?
They've been parked there all summer, so.
Yeah, but with no parking signs, is that gonna cause a problem? It won't cause a problem for me, but
At winter times, we need to,
Well, I think in winter we enforce
yeah,
the.
they won't be there in the
Yeah.
winter, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying,
Yep.
come summertime.
yep.
Mhm.
I don't think there'd be an issue, so. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Paul, seconded by John. Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Jason?
I'll abstain since it relates to the sheriff's office.
Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes,
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Anything else, Jason?
what you're saying is there was no enforcement of the no parking sign.
Correct.
Thank you.
John, anything tonight?
Just one item, Chelsea Shed from, texted me and she talked to Abby about getting a waiver for the armory for their event on February 28th. This is for the Borough Village Family and Teacher Organization, event that they're gonna put on, fundraiser. I don't think they filled out the application or anything, but they were just wondering if they could get the cleaning and rental fee waived.
Normally, we still make them do the deposit, but then the fee is waived, and as long as it's clean, then they get it
Yeah.
returned, so. It's up to you guys if you wanna waive that. Is it a motion, John?
I'll make a motion to waive the fee for February 28th event for the Borough Village Family and Teacher Organization.
Is there a second?
Well, second.
Moved by John, seconded by Nicole. Any other discussion? Paul?
Yes,
Jason? Nicole?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Paul?
we don't have a lot, on the economic development side, they did dole out quite a bit of money. They still have their $10,000 new home grant that they gave out. They approved $15,000 for marketing. That's looking at maybe potential TV commercials, a lot of social media. Advertising, they're gonna do a lot they're gonna do some this fall, winter, and then hit it again hard next year, so. And they're just marketing basically for people to move to Hillsboro and what it has to offer, so. They also offered, you probably read in the paper, they offered there were $60,000 apart on a deal for the brewery sale. So they offered them an operating loan, that was forgivable if they operated for 3 years, or would basically be divided into 36 payments. So if they have lasted for 12 months, and that would be taken off of that loan. So, and after 3 years, the loan would be completely forgiven. So that was 60,000. They also started talking about doing bingo again, not there, but at the A&R bar. Heavenly Blooms, you probably read that too in the paper also, was there requesting signage grant. And then also, Casey can clarify this, but I think that the Trail County will be asking for information on housing grant, some stuff, information that they need from the city to do that. Are you aware of that?
Nope,
Okay. Well,
now I am.
now you are. So if they call and ask for information, when it comes, I guess, I don't know, I have no idea what it is. He just mentioned
Housing study,
housing study, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Housing study.
not a housing.
So they might ask you how many houses do you walk by to go to work? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I walk by mine.
So, but anyway, they haven't done a study for, I don't know what it is, 15, 20 years, I don't know. It's been a while since they it's been a while. I think the last time it was done, I was on economic development, and that's been a long time. So, on the electrical, we're still working on the new project. We're still struggling on getting approval for the substation location over there south of the campground. They do have everything, I believe, that they need for that. Unless JR's heard anything since then, I haven't. So as far as I know, they have all the information they need, and if they need more information, they were to contact us to get that information. They got drawings, and I haven't heard anything from them. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. If not, we've been looking at other locations, but that was a pretty good location, so it's gonna complicate things. So, right?
It is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah. And the downfall of that obviously is cost. If we gotta move it someplace else, it's gonna cost a lot more money. So if anybody knows anybody in the Phoenix, what is it, JR? Phoenix something. If you got any connections in that cell tower, or that tower company, if you know anybody, a high school friend or college friend, call them up and say, hey, they really need that. So.
It's just a matter of finding the right person, or they actually have.
No, they're just giving it to the people that, it goes to the next people, and like I said, JR can clarify, but it's just, they give it to the next group that basically decides whether or not there's any interference or.
Phoenix Tower International is their name. They're the asset manager who works with the actual company, which actually leases it to a cell company.
Mm-hmm.
So they are lowest man on the totem pole. But
There's a lot of hoops to jump through.
I think that's all I got for now.
Okay. Nicole?
The only thing I have is Casey, Zach and I had interviews completed as of Thursday this last week. A potential candidate has been chosen for who we would like to see. His name is Paul Carlson. The only question I have though is he is from Grand Forks, and he does not plan to move to Hillsboro, so I don't know if that is an issue. And if it's not an issue, if Public Works would have any issues with, in case of storming and stuff is my big thing, that somebody would take a call for him. So I don't know what your thoughts and feelings are on something like that. I don't remember the handbooks though.
Wasn't that the whole issue, the one guy from Fargo, back with the electrical, we didn't make an offer to?
So, yeah.
What was his last name?
Paul Carlson.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I don't think we discussed like if it is an issue for not moving to Hillsboro. We haven't discussed like a second candidate, so I wanted to get your take on your thoughts and feelings on that first before we proceed.
I don't know, I think they need to be in Hillsboro for something like that.
We also, We also had the one employee that was living in Halsted that we made an issue out of him being over in Halsted even, so I think to stay consistent, we would have to stick with what we've been saying.
Most of the time we've tried to be around 10-15 minutes drive, so.
I think it was a 10 to 15 minute. I think Grand Forks maybe is scratching that. So we can definitely go back and discuss it
Okay. So then we don't need to worry about old business probably tonight.
tonight.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Nicole?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Paul doesn't even know this, but
Anything on the airport? You had mentioned something about that being,
Yeah, the
Sorry,
airport, yes, thank you. We will be meeting tomorrow, with the county tax, I believe it's county tax, and Charlie. I'm not sure if any county commissioners will be there or not, but it'll be just to discuss, the possessory tax and, the airport's kind of path forward. It's supposed to be cut and dry, from what I understand, that the taxation would go to the new renters of the hangars. But the airport might have some financial issues with that. So we're gonna kind of talk about that and what that looks like, and then I'd have more to report what that conversation is. That's all I have.
okay. I need your approval and blessing for us to apply for a $5 million grant, or $5 million loan through the department, or through the Bank of North Dakota for our electrical infrastructure upgrades. That came out today and is due on December 5th. So I want to make sure that we get that. It's the revolving loan fund. And so if we waited till next meeting, I don't know that we'd have enough time, or the next two meetings to get enough time to get it all put together. So
No.
if that is what you would like to do, to go up for the full max of 5 million, that's their award limit. It does look like we'd have a very good chance of getting it based on their rating system. I do need a motion to approve that.
And you said that's a revolving thing, so like if we're working on this and we get some paid down, we can draw back towards it?
Correct, it's only, so if we ask for 5, they take it as we spend it. So if we don't use all 5, then it would not. But it's just, we have to guarantee that we have to ask for what we're gonna use, so. And that'll be paid back through the electrical fund, through the new potential rates, and that's guaranteed at the 2% interest, so.
move to apply for it.
Paul makes the
And
motion.
that's for the revolving loan, like this is a loan, 2%, okay. Okay. Just want to make sure I have that.
I'll second.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Jason. Is there any other discussion on it? Okay. Paul,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes.
John,
Yes,
Nicole,
Yes.
and a yes for me. Motion carries.
thanks for that good information. I can cross that one off on the boys' list. You won't ask me anymore.
You want to ask? Well, like I said, it just came out today,
Yep.
so I don't even think we would have known about it today if we didn't ask to be notified today, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You too, Casey.
You're welcome.
Pull the other one up. Just to give you an update on the alleyway, we did talk about it a little bit. They're still trying to reach out and find owners. on that property, so, or get a hold of those owners, but nothing's been moved forward on it. They said they wanted to get it done, but that's, that might have to be the next option, so.
Sure.
And the other thing was, just had it.
You want an extension cord? No? Okay.
Oh, I remember. With the brewery being bought and sold, they will be coming and asking for the liquor license. I don't foresee any issues with that. They were gonna come tonight, but it didn't get anything in yet, so, but you could expect that, so. I told them there shouldn't be any issues with that when they asked. Okay.
Dean already had it.
And it would be a food, not just a straight liquor license, so. Zach, anything from you tonight?
Nothing much, just pipe detectives got here last week, so they spent all last week and picking away stuff. They brought a second truck into town today, so that'll be here for a while. The second one will be here off and on. So that'll do some more work, so I'll keep picking away at that stuff. And Austin will be here in town tomorrow. Sounds like
Any preliminary reports on the county, if they're seeing good things, bad things, or don't wanna say?
They picked the newer stuff first, because that was the easiest stuff. They got into some older stuff. Sounds like it was pretty dirty stuff, so they spent a lot of time cleaning. And that's about a few, there's a few lines that they said had some serious cracks in them. But that's
And how much longer are they planning on being here?
I don't know, it depends on how dirty the stuff they find. They were saying 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
I think it's all gonna depend on how long that second truck takes, you know. They can keep that here faster, but hope it only takes them that long. I know some of them, there's a few blocks that they spent a lot of time cleaning on. Getting that stuff cleaned.
After a
Some
couple
areas
of
were
weeks,
rough.
should we put something on Facebook just to remind people, in case they forgot after a couple of weeks about this going on? Just a post like you did before?
We should, yeah, that would be good. I've heard of a couple small issues from sewer gas in a house, and then one of somebody's toilet kind of overflowed a little bit. That's only
Just kind of a little reminder that they're still doing this,
right. Yeah.
and they'll be doing it for possibly another couple of weeks, and
Yeah, that's good.
might save you some phone calls, I don't know.
Yeah, and they do park, in the middle of the street, so they might be out there for a couple hours too.
Yeah.
Kind of go around, but be careful going around too.
Just so they're aware, because if they thought it was just a couple of weeks, and it's gonna be 4 weeks, just a little refresher.
That's all I got.
Okay. JR, anything?
Nothing for me.
Casey?
We'll be sending out lead and copper notices by November 14th, so if you guys get any phone calls about it or questions, all the info is on the notice. They can call me or Zach, or they can call the extra phone numbers on there for the state, so yeah, we're sending out like 500 or 600 letters, so we're expecting phone calls like last time, so don't be surprised if you guys get questioned about it. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, talk about the pool.
First thing I had was, I called KLJ talking about the bridge project. And then what they're planning on doing is bidding the bridge on fall of '26, and construction will be in '27. If the financing goes through, it's all federal financing, so as long as the financing doesn't get delayed, that's the schedule they're on. So we should just kind of waiting, and that could coincide with the pool improvements if the bridge is shut down for '27, but great. So then the other project is the city pool pipe improvement bids. We bid the project last Tuesday, and I brought Jay along to talk about the pool project. He's going to put the plans together, and he's our pool expert now, and if he wants to be or not, but
Don't ever use the word expert and Jay Clement in the same sentence. Anyways, so as Steve said, I got tasked with putting together the plans and the specs to solicit bids to start looking at the pool, start getting it fixed on. And there's a lot of history there. I think you guys all know you're losing a bunch of water. It's actually kind of a shocking amount. I actually didn't believe it when I first heard it, but I kept hearing it, so it must be true. But anyways, that's the fundamental problem we want to solve here with you folks. Just to recap, you know, that there is a grant award to the project of $150K. I always say I'm always free to admit when I don't get things right. I thought the cost would be lower, but we did get a bona fide bid that if nothing else proves that I was wrong. But even then, now we have more information, right? We have something that's actionable and something that's firm from a very reputable contractor. And just for background, ICS and their subcontractors just finished Cavalier Pool. We wrapped that up here. We're in warranty period right now. Somewhat similar in scope. Fairly large project, over about $1.4 million when we're done. And if you want to check up on ICS, call the City Cavalier. Like all projects, we had bumps, you know, hiccups here and there, but everybody got their work done when they said they would, did what they said they're going to do. And now they're able to use their pool. It was actually pretty fun because as with your pool, you go there and you've got the kids are waiting around for it to open every morning, right? And so we were just finishing that up in June of this year, and there were like 7 kids waiting by the outside of the fence, just waiting for the day the pool was open. And it's a good story because it always reminded me, this is why we do these things, right? I think that's an important consideration as we look at what we might do here on your project. We did bid a cost, of course. We also asked them to bid a schedule. And this letter kind of summarizes all of that. We chose to bid the work as a kind of a lump sum of preparation, followed with 11 individual unit prices, some of which were, you know, a cost per linear foot, some of which were a cost each, basically a lump sum for an individual work item. And we chose to do that to give better flexibility as the project proceeds. If we'd have done them as alternates, we would have had to make a decision sooner to accept this alternate or that alternate. And because we don't know everything about the piping condition yet, it just made better sense to structure the project as unit price bids. But it does include a number of $134,914.75 for work that has to be done just for the basic project management, getting to the site, all those kind of preface work needed to get a contracting crew on site. But most importantly, it includes piping preparation to pressure test all the pipelines that serve the main pool. And with the nature of the piping, that's not easy to do. You gotta disconnect certain things so you can plug them, so you can pressurize and separate the lines. It's really that getting ready for the pressure testing and doing the pressure testing, that's a large majority of that initial lump sum work. And that's work that would be needed no matter, you know, if we start a project or not. We do the project, that lump sum number is included. And then again, we talked about 11 individual unit prices. And the best summary of that is the detailed bid tab, which hopefully is in your packet, where each of those 11 unit prices are defined in a very general nature, descriptive enough to kind of follow along with what those unit prices are. Should that whole and then there's other work, there's work that, some work has to require other unit prices to execute. Like for example, it's been reported that the little nozzle fittings from the gutter drains are disconnected from their main gutter drain return piping. In order to get access to those, we have to take the pool deck off. So to do those inspections and reconnections of those nozzles, you gotta take the unit price work, or we'd have to execute the unit price work to do the pool deck. And then there's some other those contingency unit prices. And I think the best place to look at that is table 1, which is what we think based on the drawdown process going on in the pool now, which I thought was actually very smart of you folks, to just let the pool drain naturally. Don't pump it, just let it go naturally. And seeing that, it sure seems to be that main drain piping from the bottom of the pool into that balance well, that seems to be leaking. If it weren't leaking, I'd expected that water to be held at a lot higher water elevation than it's held at right now. And it explains the water loss. So table 1 is what we think is what's the most likely scenario for the work. I won't repeat it here. Hopefully table 1 summarizes it fairly well. The one thing that's not in table 1, it's not any of the actual pool piping replacement. I actually think it's going to be in reasonably good shape. It might lose some air, but an air pressure test is a harder thing to measure than a water pressure test. So I think what we'll find, and this I'm kind of somewhat conjecturing, but it's based on having recently done this, you lose a little air, you'll lose a little bit of water. And I do think there'll come a point when it might be worth saying, we lose a little bit of water from our piping that's just below the slab, but we're fixing the main drain where I think most of the water is going. So I think that's going to be an outcome of the project here when we do the pressure testing, in which case at this point, I don't think you'll have to execute the unit prices for the pool piping. And that would be 1, 2, 4, and 6. I don't think you're going to have to do those. Also not included in table 1 is that balance well, the manhole out on the north side of the pool. And what that thing basically is a tank for all the water to kind of come in, reach some equilibrium. You know, you got the gutters overflow and the water goes through that piping, goes into the balance well. And then inside there's basically a straw that the main suction pump inside the pool equipment room draws water out of. So that balance well is ultimately where the water goes back into the treatment system. It's probable that is leaking. The longtime pool manager basically told me, well, you're crazy if we don't replace it. So we added it in, if nothing else, to get a cost of it, to give another piece of data for your folks to decide, is that going to be worth money worth spending? $52 some thousand on that. I think that's something that even if it did leak, again, I think that is a far lesser volume than a leaking main return pipe would be. It might be worth accepting the as-is condition. That's why I didn't include it in table 1. Yeah, and then that's something, of course, we're gonna have questions, and that's good. Next, I talk about the schedule analysis, and again, that was an open schedule. We asked them, give us your best schedule. They're saying June, they're done with the work, which cuts into the operating season. It's never a very good thing for a municipal pool not to operate, but it's probably not good to lose that much water every day either. So again, there's some decision-making to happen there. I think the best process to move forward is knowing that if you add up all the unit prices and that initial lump sum, it's $520,000, $193.40. I gotta remind them to round everything up to the nearest whole number next time they bid. But you're not gonna incur all that. I don't think you should expect that all that work will have to be done. I think table one's a good recommendation on what is expected would be spent. But again, prudence is, financially, if you proceed with the project, it's probably prudent to have the whole amount available. I can't tell you it's absolutely recommended because there's a lot of decision-making options for you folks here. But it's always good to have that backstop of what we think the project could ultimately cost, worst case scenario. And I tried to bullet list that there, that accepting the bid for that amount is not going to obligate the city to do that work. We could elect to do a quantity of 0 linear feet for some of the piping, and that's perfectly a valid choice within the contract. And then at the end of it, if we are, spend less than the full amount, we would just reconcile the project with a change order to bring it to a $0 balance and close the project out with actual cost to date. And that's why I bullet list here about the final cost not yet known, because we don't know pressure test results. We won't know then how much of the pool piping we replace. Again, I'll just refer back to table one with what I think is the most likely scenario for the repair project right now with what we've seen to date. So that's a lot of words. Hopefully they make sense. If not, we're here to answer your questions and help with however we may today.
The current grant is $150,000, so that would come off of that, whatever.
And it's a matching grant, so we have to, for every,
What is the, where did you get the grant from? Like, do you remember what you applied for?
So Land and Water Conservation Fund grant.
Okay. I'm just curious if we might be able to apply for that Rural Catalyst grant.
the only problem is we have to have this one done by June, or we don't get it.
June of 2026?
This is our,
We've been extended already.
yep,
There's been, I believe, one extension.
yep.
And Tony Hillig manages this grant for the state. He's actually been very, very amenable, like all of our state administrators, right? They work with you folks. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that you could extend it again, but obviously another extension is a little harder to get. It never hurts to ask a question. Should it come to that?
I mean, we can apply for other grants, but we have to decide and execute fairly soon to make sure that we get on the books. And
Yeah, because this one, they just closed the first round October 28th. But they got a couple second rounds, but according to this one, they have until June of 2027, so it has to be June of 2026 for this one.
But I mean, there's other things that we need at the pool if we
Right.
get this fixed, so.
Oh, you're saying to,
This is just to fix our main issue of not putting out 2 million gallons of water every year.
We did we did bid a unit price for an in-situ repair of that main pipe, but it's really tricky to do that. It's a short section of pipe. It's got some fittings in there somewhere. They weren't able to bid it because they couldn't determine the feasibility of their method of in-situ repair. So it's a replacement for the maintenance line.
What was the bid on Cavalier's pool when you started?
About 1.2. And then they did, near the tail end of that project, we ended up repairing about 90 linear feet of cast iron pipe that found out it was leaking, you know, in the interim of the project as the project was being executed. So it ended up being around that $1.4 million. Just for kind of reference point, we were kind of messing around with some numbers, you know, taking the annual water bill, and some electric and other utility costs, and we were kind of, when I think one of you folks actually asked Steve to do it, how many years would it take it, not including any interest or inflation or anything like that, just using a simple rate of return, if you will. How many years would it take to operate the pool to recover the input capital costs now with the current water usage and electrical utilities? The number ran somewhere between 7 to 11 years based on a range of assumptions on how much of those, you know, water and utility costs we might reduce. I kind of boiled it down to 10 years. Like, if you want to think about it that way, 10 years of operation for $318,000 of work, less than 150 grand, to get a pool that, again, with table one, we think is going to take away the vast majority of your leakage. 10 years.
And it's gonna get worse, and if we didn't do anything.
Oh yeah, nothing's going to improve over time. Yeah.
So what point do you pull the Band-Aid?
Right now, you don't wanna spend the money, Paul?
No. I think it's time we pull the Band-Aid and we just start looking at something different. Because we're gonna throw 300 and some thousand, and there was a lot of ifs and ands in there about, you know, what could potentially go wrong. You know, other things they could find that they don't know yet, you know. I don't know, I just,
But it's a matching grant, so it's costing us 150.
what do you know, if it goes to 500,000.
But they highly don't anticipate that.
Well, they anticipated it was gonna be 350 when they went into it too, or 250, I think.
Yeah,
So things change, you know, and
until we can get that pressure testing done, there are uncertainties. There's no doubt about that.
And they can't pressure test it without taking the slab off, right?
Because those nozzle connections from the gutter inlet to the piping that collects it to the balance well, those are disconnected, and you can't pressure test with those loose. And even to plug those, you'd still have to take the pool deck off to really get the pressure testing and that field testing done that we would need to start to reduce the uncertainties. Yeah, there's just a lot of prerequisite work that would have to be done to do any testing.
But the question is, Paul, is your group ready to pull the trigger and we have a pool in 5 years?
I don't know, I would think if we had a city support, we could, but it's gonna take the city support to do it, so.
But the other question is what is the cost? If you're looking at 3 to 5 to 6 to whatever.
Well, right now, the latest, what the architect had was 4 million.
Okay, so 4 million. And do you want to take 4 million? And I'm just saying this, Paul, do you want to take 4 million away from your electrical project?
No, this would be a whole complete, you'd have, this, I'm not saying that, so you're telling me the only way we can pay for the swimming pool is with that money?
No, with a low interest loan, that's the only place that we're gonna get money for a pool,
Okay,
is through a municipal infrastructure bond fund.
okay. Why? Yeah, I don't know, you
Not
know
at-
more than I do, but I forgot.
We can get other money from other places,
Right.
but we're gonna pay a higher interest on it.
Well, I'm just looking at this, that we just keep throwing money and throwing money and throwing money, and it just, yeah,
No,
it's
we
gonna buy
haven't,
another
Paul.
10 years, it's gonna buy you another 10 years, and you still got the same pool. You haven't changed anything.
Give you 10 years to get your new pool.
But we haven't been throwing money at, that's what the problem is. We haven't spent money on this pool for 20 to 25 years.
No, that's not what I've heard.
Besides the normal upkeep stuff, like the painting and the lighting.
What have we spent it on, Paul?
I've just heard other people, they kept telling me that there's been a lot of money put in that pool. They put liners in, they fixed other areas. They just, not too long ago, they spent a whole bunch of money on the deck of the little kids' pool, and that's not even open. How much money was spent there?
Because
By the
we're-
baby pool.
Is there a record of what we've put into that pool over the last 10 years, plus all the water that we've lost? Can you add
What
that
we
together?
spent? We spent about 50,000 to put a new liner on it.
Over the last 10 years?
And we did that during COVID, so 2020.
But even if you get a new pool, eventually you're gonna have to put a new liner in it.
You don't put liners in the pool.
Yes, well, so the liner, the original liner
Go splash pad.
was not a liner, was painted. Then they put a liner in it. The liner lasted for about 25 to 30 years. I don't remember the exact. And then we took the liner out because we knew a new liner was gonna be way too expensive, so we painted it. I put a poly, what's on there today. And that's all that's been done in that pool since. We put, heaters though.
The new pool we're looking at won't have a liner. That's not a liner pool. So.
But at the end of the day, if you don't put any money, you don't do any maintenance, just like we haven't done on other infrastructure, we're gonna end up with the same boat. Yes, I would love a new pool. Everybody loves new things. But where do you wanna spend the money? And that's what it comes down to. In the next 20 years, we have a $20 million electrical project. By the time we get done, you're gonna have probably $30 to $35 million street water, sewer, stormwater assessment. So you're putting $50 million into our town infrastructure, and then could be 5 to 6 to 7, whatever, million you're gonna spend on a pool. Or do you spend $500,000 today that could get us 10 to 20 years?
Also, what I'm looking what I'm seeing is the cost. He's bidding this project and everything right now, but by the time they start, if the equipment that he wants goes up, do we pay that and that extra, or will they eat that? The increases.
On what?
On any of the, the piping, all the instruction, what we're talking about right here? They're quoting this on today's prices.
They're quoting on us approving it.
Takes care of it though, then they're locked into that contract.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when they're, the prices are, if they go up and everything, then we're stuck with paying the extra?
Well, they would eat that.
Yeah, this is a binding bid price through their stated completion date of June 2026.
Only if we added anything above and beyond what was on the bid would be where we'd have to pay.
And that was at 300 and whatever it was in green,
Well,
It's rated up to 520 something.
and we got 150 grand so
So go in that.
we're still into for 350,000 at this point.
we're in it for 350, but every year that we're running that pool at the way that at 350,000, that's $35,000 a year. For the next-
Yeah, but see, another thing you brought
How much
up
water,
is, we're
money and water are
stacking
we
too many
losing right now?
projects up.
That's
We're
what,
stacking all the projects back up again.
35.
And, we don't have enough money, well, like you said, let's take 350,000 from the electrical grid. We're borrowing Peter to pay Paul again, and we need to get away from that and just work on things that, we can afford at this point,
you never will afford a pool.
okay?
Never.
Then we don't need it.
No city that I've ever seen will ever be able to afford a pool and make money off of it.
Okay, now, back to the old arguments that were about 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, Why don't we just bust the people that wanna use a pool to Mayville, their indoor pool and stuff, and, you know, different cities that do have a pool.
Mayville's pool is outdoors as well.
All right?
Mayville's pool is outdoor as well.
I thought there was an indoor pool over there
There's Mayville College.
College,
at the college.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even been open still.
The college is open.
Yeah, it's open, but you have to buy a membership to get access to
And
it.
not just a pool, isn't it? There's nothing.
Right.
Do they even have any
I don't know what's
amenities on it at all?
There's no
Or
amenities.
just a competition.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even think it's.
Lap
competition.
swimming maybe, or something like that.
But at this point, you either gotta do something or we're done. Either you say we're gonna fix the pool, or there's no use opening it up anymore. In all reality.
My opinion is I'd rather put money that we're getting grant money towards and fixing our problem and getting another 10 to 20 years out of it and being able to put money towards other projects.
And where is this money coming from?
This will come out of sales tax. And I would also try to go to HEDC and see if they want to put some money in towards this. This is economic development at its finest. That's why you have a pool. To bring people in to do the things that we want them to do and spend money in town. And a pool never, have you guys ever heard of a pool that makes money that you've worked with?
They are a community asset.
Yep.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'll make the motion to go forward with the grant.
With the
With
bid.
the bid.
Bid, are we going up to the 520? Not saying that we're there, but that we have it.
How's that work, Jay? If you gotta either approve the bid and then, suppose you could have a stipulation that after the pool deck is off, we'll be in there and we'll evaluate the piping and everything and then figure out what
Right.
that final cost is so that we can bring that to the city commission at that point. You know, we can decide if this $320,000 fixes 90% of the leaks, maybe that's where we want to stop.
Great.
Is this something that cause that's like an awful lot of money out of sales tax considering we just did the budget, is that gonna be an issue with like some of the negative accounts that we come up with at year end to have to move funds?
Potentially, but I think Casey and I will look to see if we can find short-term financing if we have to cover it and pay it off in a couple of years.
If I remember right, I don't think we plan to transfer much out of sales tax next year. I think, I'll double check. I don't think we planned a whole lot for that sales tax fund though.
I guess that's my only fear and concern on
And if we now have a number, we can also go and ask for individuals, businesses to help keep this open as well. So I'll go back to Jason, your motion to
I'll make
approve.
the motion up to the 320 whatever thousand it is and then have them come back and let us know the number once they have it.
Okay. Is there a
it.
second?
320 with the grant or without the grant?
With.
Is there a second?
So
Second?
I'll let the order proceed.
Second? Motion dies for lack of second. Jay?
Oh, I was gonna say, with a motion like that with a hard cap, what I would end up doing, let's say something else happens, okay, let's say that one would have passed. I probably would have Yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done. Probably would have just negotiated a change in the scope, and then the contract would be the full bid amount, and then we'd do a simultaneous change order to just omit any work on unit prices 1, 2, 3, and 6. You know, to stay within the motion of the commission here on the dollar cap. So,
And just because if you approve it up to 520 doesn't mean that that's what we're gonna spend. It just gives us that leeway to move forward with the process to, it could be in the motion that you spend up to 520, but anything over the 320 needs to come back to the commission for further approval. So the change orders don't happen without commission approval.
I'll make that motion then.
Okay, is there a second?
No second it.
Moved by Jason, second by John. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Nicole?
No.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
No,
And a yes for me. Motion carries.
okay, and so what we'll do is we'll start getting everything organized with the contractor, and again, they're very reputable. They'll understand what your wishes, our intentions are, and I'll just have a conversation and say, this is our cap, this is what we're gonna have to do. So we will know that anything above that, we just have to stop and wait and get approval on the additional money. They'll understand that.
Do they know or have an anticipated start date? They think of this fall?
We have not talked about that yet,
Okay.
no. I don't imagine they're gonna get much more than, you know, kind of all the organizational administrative things done. They may wanna start on some things this fall, but I don't know how much longer we're gonna stay this lucky. So I'll get a date for you.
Okay.
So,
you just let them know there's always a potential of flooding. You may not get in there till May.
yep.
Okay. Anything else on the pool?
They need to correct their one sheet, though, they got a typo on it.
Are you on the bid tab or?
On the bid schedule analysis, you have June 30th, 26th for the substantial completion,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
got final completion June 15th. That should probably be July, I'm assuming.
Let's see.
Am I reading it completely wrong?
In the summary, it says July 15th.
Yeah, it's substantial completion 6/30/2026, final completion 7/15.
The top lines, what's the difference? Yeah, the top line says June 15th is what I'm saying.
That's right, and the
Just needs to
second
be
one's
changed to
July.
July, correct?
Sorry about that. July 15 is,
That could have got you in trouble. I'd have called you on July 15th and said, why isn't it done? And you would have said, well, I got another month.
But it is under the summary, correct? Just
that's
not.
right, the certified bid tab at the bottom of it has the correct dates.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
You should have busted my hump sooner.
Well, you know, you just want to make sure I read it, right, Steve?
That's it.
We'll put that in there and see if Paul actually read
Yep.
it.
I wish I could say that were true, but, all right. Well, I appreciate your folks' time and
Thank you.
commitment to getting this thing done, so, thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Steve.
Yep. So we get the contractor's final contract.
Okay.
Signed and all that stuff comes up your schedule.
That works.
You didn't have anything else for us to, kick off, there's gonna be a vote on the facade ramp.
No, Steve did send me a little bit more on the stormwater pond over, or the storm sewer detention pond over by the school. He said it'd be about 60 feet wide the whole width down, so we're getting closer on that.
And the intention of that pool, of that pond was, not just to make it just a big ditch, so it'll probably have like a shelf in there. Cause the ground is only, I think it can only be like 3.5 feet deep. So it's gonna be going down 3.5 feet, it'd be a flatter bottom on it, so, in the future, when they build a school, they can kind of, use that as a feature or something, you know, maybe it's a seating area while they're doing some kind of event or,
Put a drain tile on the bottom of it, so it empties dry.
it drains it out, dries it out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're a long ways from that, Paul.
I'm just telling you.
Okay,
Right, thanks.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
The next item is new business, the facade grant for Hayloft Mercantile. For signage. That, just so you're aware, that property did receive a grant before in the last 5 years, I believe.
I did read too that the facade grant is for outside only, and in this one it was mentioned outside and inside signs.
Yeah, facade is only for outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, it says for the south outside entrance and north inside hallway entrance.
You know, if they made any improvements on that south side, we got the grant before.
On the last,
East, because Cafe has that double entrance. The
but it's
facade
all
on
one
the south
building.
And then the facade on the east.
But the sign was put on that building. The previous facade grant was the sign, the cafe sign on that side,
The one on the west side of the building?
on the south side of the,
On
yeah, the west side of the building on, towards Caledonia. Or,
Well, you can see it coming from the west, is that the one?
yep,
Was that done for them or the previous owner?
it was the previous owner. But the intention of this grant was to be there for the entirety of the property, so. We said nobody could ever take it down without our express consent.
Right. We're requesting 303?
400.
Okay, well, the quote is 303. But they're requesting
I think-
400.
I think the request was at 650, they paid.
That's the
400.
estimated total cost of the project is 650.
And they're paying for 400 and they asked for 250 the way it looks.
And the quote is 303, I believe, with the addition of the inside signage.
So what is their specific request?
Can you scroll down?
Mhm.
Keep going. There you go. So from what I get, there's one custom metal sign, and I think that one is the one to make it probably outside, and then I think, I'm not positive, the number 3 additional metal sign is possibly what they want to put on the inside, is my guess.
Well, there's 2 big signs and 3 additional signs, so. Or 1 additional, I don't know.
Thought-
Or no, that's line item, so 1 and 1.
Yeah.
But with it being indoors, I don't think we can approve this as presented.
Yeah, I know that the requirements were outside only. I'm not sure what part of that is outing.
We send it back to them and
Well, is it something that
it's something that's worth that.
them redoing, or is it, we've never had where somebody's come back and asked for another grant, so.
I thought we did, though. I thought the idea shot, but it was, that's why we made it a request for something that had a timeline to it, wasn't it?
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Now I wonder,
Because I thought that was a second request that came through, but they were outside the permissible time of request for that approval. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what that was.
well, that's ringing a bell for me because they did talk about putting on a brick on the east side.
Yep, and then they went back and did a window replacement. That's the last one that I remember.
Did we give it to both?
We did because they had because when they requested this one, a certain time had passed. And then they requested this
Okay.
one. There was a certain time in between, I think.
Also, if you look at it, in reality, it's a 50-50 grant, so we could pay half of the 228 because the rest they're saying is in-kind work, but they're also putting in-kind work. There's no cost estimate for the 650. If that makes sense. So they're requesting 650, but the bid is only for 303. But in reality, if that extra sign is not permissible, then we could only, the 228 and half of that.
That's how I read it, but just from the instruction thingy.
So we're denying this as presented?
Can I make a motion to do the exterior?
To do what,
Do
sorry?
the exterior sign,
Yeah, I think that's the 228.
228?
I
think
prefer
so.
to have them resubmit this. Because I don't know what the 228 is covering, and they're asking for 650. Yet, there's nothing else attached for, that even brings them close to 650.
Yeah, total that.
But where are they technically asking for it? It just says estimated total cost.
Estimated total cost, please include the quote from the contractor, so where's 650 coming from?
Yeah, I understand that, but is that what they're, because they got portion of project that the applicant proposed to pay is 400, so.
But even if
Just
you-
reading that, they would be requesting 250, right?
Right, but if you read it, Paul, what I'm saying is this, it's 303 is what the bid is saying, and they're requesting us to pay 250 of that.
Mhm.
We've always requested that you need to have a quote for the work of it, so we couldn't pay 250, we could pay 150 or 151.50.
So it says up in the top that they still need to purchase the brackets and do some stuff, so is that where, and the outside sign will need to be illuminated? Is that where they're coming up with the other?
I don't know, I just think we need to send it back, and
It should really just say estimated total cost that, and then they propose to pay, which should be half of that, and then the quote attached. It should be written that way.
right, it should be.
How does that work with the in-kind work?
We've never
In-kind,
asked, we've
we've
never
never
said
been part of
in-kind,
it.
there is no in-kind
That's why
work.
you attach the bids.
Okay,
We don't pay for in-kind.
okay.
I'm good with sending it back so they can resubmit it.
Do you get in-kind work at your business?
All the time. Yeah,
Do you get reimbursed for that in-kind work?
yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time. That's why I drive a fancy 1995 F-150. You think anybody, do any of you guys have a 95
We don't,
F-150?
that's a classic.
You know, hey.
You can even get antique plates on
I
there.
knew
Pretty-
you were
I'm
going
just-
with
I
that.
I'm waiting to get my Pioneer plates.
That's what I was just gonna say.
But he can't, he drives it too much,
Is it
doesn't he?
30 years?
Oh, that's, I can't, I'll look it up, I'll let you know.
I can't remember if it's 30 years or more, but right at 30 years.
But it can't be your main vehicle.
It's not my main vehicle for this purpose.
Okay, then you can't drive it to work every day. All right, we'll send it back. Road closure for HVA.
Make the motion to approve that.
Did we have anything on that? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's right there in the middle of the business.
Oh, there it is.
I'll second.
Moved by Nicole, seconded by Jason. Is there any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
And a yes for me. And then the APPA PAC prior approval form. Casey, you want to talk on that a little bit?
Yes, this is basically a form that cities are being asked to sign to allow, APPA members to attend legislative events on our behalf. There's no fiscal responsibility with it, they're not requesting money, they just want the approval for like a 5-year stint to be able to go to legislative rallies and talk with individuals that are influential in our power agreements. So MRES is also pushing for members to sign off on it because they work really closely with APPA. So I didn't feel comfortable just signing off on it without your guys' approval. I think I put in what Deb Bergen said about it. I can pull it back up though.
I assume it's so that they can lobby on our behalf.
Yes, yep, that is what it is. Email sent out by APPA, not soliciting funds. MRES encourages support for state and national associates. It's fully up to you and your city if you wish to sign the waiver stating APPA may solicit funds from you in the future. So they can ask you, it's kind of doing a twofold. It's allowing them to go and lobby for us, and they'll basically ask you guys for funds. You don't have to give them funds if you don't want to though. It doesn't come with a payment requirement right now, and it won't in the future. There's no requirement, but they will solicit you guys if you do sign off on it, which that's okay. We take the phone calls, so.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second
Moved by Paul, seconded by John. This would be useful in the future when we're looking for federal dollars for grants or for the electrical infrastructure upgrades. So. Any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
John?
it. Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries.
Thank you.
We are crossing off the old business. Reminder, winter parking, make sure you have your vehicles off the streets between snowfall, between 2:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. During large snow events, business sidewalks, we do have that ordinance in certain areas that you need to have that cleared off within a certain amount of time after the last snowfall. The office will be closed on Veterans Day, November 11th, Thanksgiving, and then the other holidays are on there as well. And our next meeting is the 17th at 6:30. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
Were you hearing it? Maybe my email hasn't updated yet, but did we hear anything on that meeting in December?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so it was December, would be that week, December 15th, the 16th and 17th is what I told her would be the best dates. That's Wednesday and Thursday. I know they got the Christmas concert Thursday night, but we can adjust the meetings, that we can adjust the schedule where we need, if I want you guys at one real bad, we'll try and align it so we can, so you're not at school and stuff like that. But I would think we would shoot for hours like, 2 to 6 and then, or 2 to whatever, so it's not the whole day, unless that's what people want, but it can go over 2 days. And she just got me on the schedule, but she has not sent me any information on that. I knew there was something else.
So
Thanks for reminding
it's
me.
Wednesday and Thursday?
That's what I gave her as dates.
Okay.
So she was gonna put on her
wait.
schedule.
So that would be the
Wednesday and
17th and 18th.
Thursday.
17th and 18th then?
Yep.
Okay.
17th, 18th.
So the 17th and 18th you gave her for dates?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Those are the dates I can't do it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Mine were the 15th and 16th.
Oh, I thought I just asked everybody about a week, so, so. I can get back to her if there's days that work better for you that week, but.
Yeah, 15th and 16th I for surely
Yeah,
can.
that's gonna be hard with city commission. I'm sure we got city commission that night, don't we?
Yep.
17th,
Yeah, so that's kind of why I stayed from that.
17th I can, it's just the 18th I can't. That one I'm required to be.
And I just didn't think, you know, we could, and I could tell her to Tuesday too if it works. But I thought that didn't work for one day either.
I think that-
Somebody. That work for you
Jason?
Tuesday?
I should be able to get off.
Because I can let her know and we can try and Tuesday, Wednesday.
I should be able to make that work.
And those were just the days that I mentioned to her and she was.
Is it during the day or in the evening?
It'll be whatever we can work out. Until I get that information on what session she wants, because she's gonna have different groups of people
Okay.
at different sessions, so it won't be the same people all day.
Mm.
So once I get more about what the layout is of it and the agenda for it, then we can kind of coordinate to make sure, for example, that if everybody can make it on Tuesday, and Wednesday, then I was just thinking that would be meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if that's Tuesday.
If you're splitting hours, Paul, like if it's not a 8 to 5 all day, then I can
No,
do.
it definitely won't be an 8 to 5
I
all
can
day.
do, I can do, late afternoon on the 18th, so I have 15th, 16th, 17th open, and 18th, anytime after 1 PM, and open
Yeah.
Friday, if that helps.
Take Tuesday off, that week.
Yeah, I should be able to make anything Tuesday through Thursday work.
Are these meetings being held here, or?
They'll probably be held here. As long as there's room here. And like I said, I haven't got anything, information other than trying to set the date. She hasn't given me any, other than what we got, of what she covers. So I haven't got, what session, okay, this is gonna cover this particular thing, so. And I'm guessing that those can all kind of be moved around, but until I get that information from her, I won't know for sure. So, and Nicole, you said again, what, you said,
I'm open 15th, 16th, 17th, anytime after 1 PM on the 18th, and all day on the 19th,
after 1 PM, okay?
on the 18th, yeah.
And I'm assuming you're not open till any evenings, correct?
Correct.
But we can't get away from that unless you're gonna take vacation.
I don't get very many days.
What's that?
I don't get very many days of
No,
vacation.
no. We just have to. And I knew that not everybody would make everything. That would have been a trick to get all that working, so. But I appreciate that everybody, after 1 PM on the 18th, right, Nicole?
Yep, after 1 on the 18th, yeah. Have to be at work in the morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Meeting is adjourned.